Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Justin Fairman. I'm co-founder of LearnDash. And with me, I have Bradley Morris and Andy Freest from the Great eCourse Adventure. Guys, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thank you.
Abs- Total pleasure. And by the way, this is the voice of Brad, and the other one's Andy.
Okay. Yeah,
And
thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah,
we're these two
just want to be
cartoon
clear on
characters.
that. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll try our best not to cut each other off, but it's okay if it happens. Well, first, guys, I want to thank you so much for being here because I am really excited to see what you guys are doing with LearnDash. I've had a look myself. It's super impressive, and I think that others will really enjoy seeing what you're doing and looking into the well, one, the great setup you have, and then just hearing some advice that you have about creating online courses and creating online courses with LearnDash. So. Without further ado, how about you guys give a little background about each of you and your business and what you're doing?
Yeah, Brad, you want to kick it off?
Okay. I was being polite and letting you go.
Yeah, you
So
go.
yeah, the Great eCourse Adventure is a course on building courses, and the previous version of this was called the eCourse Creation Blueprint. And we've been doing this for a few years. Before this, I launched some courses, meditation courses that circulated to 40 plus countries, and that's how I got into teaching folks how to build courses. And so the old version of this was basically it was your typical PowerPoint presentation and modules and all that sort of stuff. And Andy and I partnered up a couple years ago, and he came up to Canada. He lives in Hawaii, and we were standing on a mountaintop about to get into a 2-week blitz of content creation, of revamping our eCourse Creation Blueprint course. And I turned to him and I said, do you think if you found our course 3 years ago, would you have purchased it when you actually were looking for this type of information? And he's like, no. I was like, yeah, me neither. And we realized that was a really huge problem, that we wouldn't have purchased our course. And so we started to just ask ourselves a bunch of questions. We literally pulled an all-nighter asking ourselves questions like, well, what would we have signed up for? What would have actually made us want to pay money for a course? And that kind of took us down a rabbit hole that we've been exploring for the last 2 years on experience design and crafting online learning experiences that are over-the-top creative, engaging, fun to go through, inspiring, and that the name of the game is to help people get results. The thing that they're signing up for is to transform their life or to learn a new skill, and most of the courses out there are failing that. And so the Great eCourse Adventure is our very best attempt at creating an online course that leads people through a bunch of really fun lessons to learn how to build a course of their own that's inspiring and engaging.
Exactamundo. Yeah, I think the main thing I would say about us is that we tend to see ourselves more as experience designers rather than course creators, and we see online courses really as a way of facilitating transformational experiences, and that's really the name of the game. And so we're just kind of on this mission to see how far we can take it and utilize the internet and course creation as a means to facilitate people making their lives better in some way.
Well, I can say that your mission of being experience creators is paying off. I mean, the site is beautiful. The site that you're on right now, it's super engaging. I was mentioning to you before that when you're on it, you just want to see what's next. And for those watching this, this is not their actual course right here. Why don't you explain what this site is that we're looking at?
Yeah. So this is basically just like our blog, and this kind of has like info about us, and it has some links to like here you see you can do our free masterclass, which is like a 45-minute kind of webinar format thing, and then this is a link to our course, and we got you can click either of these trail signs. So this is just sort of like a gateway into our world. We also have a blog over here. And we're actually going through a rebrand right now for this main public site. This is actually going to become e-course adventures, just without the great e-course adventure, and that's going to be kind of like our home base in the not distant future. And then the great e-course adventure is going to be kind of just reserved for the actual course, if that makes sense. So,
No,
so
that
yeah, this
makes
is pretty
sense.
much
So
that.
the blog is a way for you guys to build awareness, I'm assuming, then for your course.
Exactly. Exactly. It's kind of like the way
Yeah.
we see it, like e-course adventures is how we interface with the public, and we're also going to use it as a place to showcase our what's happening in our community and courses that are kind of sprouted out of the woodwork of our community. And then the Great E-Course Adventure will be that kind of that membership site. If I can show you guys, go here. So if you go to the greatecourseadventure.com, you'll actually end up here. This is the sales page to our course.
And so just to, on the note of the sales page, we've redone this sales page so many times, and it's been so much fun to, with the intention of giving you an actual experience of what it's like to be inside the course and going through this journey with us. And so if you get the time to, at the very least, just go through the videos and the experience on our sales page. It's a lot of fun. It's very different from normal sales pages because we just put so much thought into crafting this experience. We want, the Great E-Course Adventure, basically, just to give people an idea, it's about a journey up a mountain. And the reason we chose that as our metaphor is because, building your dream business and merging your creative passions with your gifts into a way that you can actually change other people's lives and make money doing it is kind of like a journey up the mountain. It can be hard. You can want to give up at times. You can get lost along the journey and lose your way. And so we decided on this metaphor. And so instead of just having all the video lessons be us on a webinar talking about the course, we filmed everything in a green screen studio. And there's about 92 lessons in total in the Great E-Course Adventure. And instead of modules, we call our modules checkpoints along the way. And so every single background is a different location on the mountain. Each checkpoint is a different type of landscape on the mountain. And as you can see by the little cards here that are on the adventure map that you get when you sign up, every step along the way or at each checkpoint, you meet a new character. So if you could imagine characters in Saturday Night Live or something like that, but not as awesome as Saturday Night Live because they're pretty brilliant. But you meet these different characters, and they're going to help you learn and apply these tools and techniques for building your course. You're going to learn about the tech. You're going to learn about the automations. All the stuff that you need to do, you're taught in the Great E-Course Adventure. But it's a lot more fun and exciting and engaging, and there's this whole storyline as you're going up the mountain to create your e-course where you're also one of the characters. And so when you join our online community, which we'll get to showing you in a minute here, you're a part of this story, and all of our adventurers on the mountain who are building their courses and climbing together, they're all a part of this story. And so one of the things, everything we've discovered on this journey, as we're talking about experience design, has just been, we've kind of fluked into it by trying all of these different things. Instead of just building a course, we're kind of looking at how do we merge art and entertainment and gamification and storytelling and all these different mediums into a learning experience. And so it's been a big experiment, but what we discovered is that by creating this metaphor of the mountain, people aren't just signing up for a course. They're entering into a new world. And in this world, they're supported. There's a language that everybody speaks and agrees to. And it just brings this level of creativity and imagination that isn't there in your usual two-dimensional courses and PowerPoint presentations. And our original intention was not to create a course on building courses that is crazy like this and that people would start to copy our methods. We just wanted to create the greatest course we could imagine. And in the process of doing so, we've kind of stumbled upon an entire new way of doing e-learning experiences, and all of our students are following in our footsteps and experimenting with their own ways of building courses. And it's really this culture that is starting to emerge in our community of people that are like, this feels like the right way to go for the future of online learning.
Yeah, you guys are definitely on to something. I think we're on the sales page, I know, and it's certainly one of the most entertaining sales pages I've ever been on. I don't feel like I'm being sold to. It's just fun. It's a fun experience, and so you definitely succeeded at your goal there. One of the things that we talk about at LearnDash a lot is gamification and the gamification elements. And gamification is great, and studies are proving that they do work in helping people retain knowledge and transfer of knowledge, that is. But a lot of times gamification is happening to the person rather than the person who's in the course actually feeling part of that game or part of that journey. And that's where I think you guys are doing something really great and kind of showcasing what can be done when you take a learner and put them into the experience, not that they're actually just like experiencing it being told to them. So I'm excited to actually see behind the scenes on everything. So why don't you
Awesome.
why don't you tell us, like, if somebody comes to the sales page, what's the general workflow that they would go through, and then we can jump into the course content.
Yeah, so if somebody lands on our sales page and they go through the sales page and they like what they see and they want to sign up, then they'll end up on a sign up page. I could actually show you. Let's see. I think I need to open a new window where I'm not already logged in. And then this is what will happen. All right, so if they click this button, so what we've got set up is we're using Paid Memberships Pro currently to handle our subscriptions.
That's a great tool, and as you're kind of getting to that page, I'll just explain to anyone watching. Paid Memberships Pro is a WordPress membership plugin, and it's free on WordPress.org. LearnDash has an integration with it, so you can assign or associate courses to Paid Memberships Pro membership levels. But okay, go ahead.
So,
No,
so yeah,
just
this
on
is our
that
basic.
note with the Paid Membership Pro. Oh, sorry, Andy. I just wanted to say we have purchased a bunch of the different. We've spent, I don't know, several $1,000s on different shopping cart systems, and we ended up reverting back to the simplest free version for a number of reasons. But I just wanted to say that like you don't have to have shopping carts that are thousands of dollars to create the experience that you want for your students.
Yeah, I used to be a marketing tool addict, and now I'm sober. So, so yeah, we used to pay like over $1,000 a year for a shopping cart that did absolutely nothing for us more than what this does right here. So yeah, we've been in the process of just kind of constantly simplifying our life and getting rid of the hype and the excess and just getting straight to the heart of what's really important. So, okay, so anyways, let's just say we sign up, goes through, and then what happens is you end up on the community dashboard. So here is basically, this is home base right here.
This looks great. I love the way this looks.
And so the way this is set up, this is using a brilliant, it's not a theme, it's not a plugin, it's a mixture of the two. BuddyBoss's Social Learner, and they have a LearnDash integration. And I just love that product because it's kind of it's just like an all-in-one solution. And the thing I really like about it is it kind of makes it feel like an app for our students. It kind of has that appy sort of feel to it. So that's what we use as sort of the backbone. But as you can see, we've done some pretty heavy customization. But yeah, I guess we could just give a little tour of what's going on here and the way we have this all set up. So here is just this sort of welcome to Basecamp thing. On the left here is, so we do a weekly coaching call. It's basically just like a Q&A for our members, and we set that up through Zoom. And So every week when we schedule a new Zoom call, and then we just pop the link into this button right here. And this layout that you see was built with Beaver Builder.
And for those
And
that,
if you
sorry
put
to interrupt you,
this,
add some
oh,
clarification.
go
For
ahead.
those that don't know, Beaver Builder is a plugin for WordPress. It's free, or they have a free version and a paid version, and it allows you to create page layouts on the front end in WordPress with some drag and drop functionality, and they have some pre-made templates. Is that probably an accurate description of Beaver Builder? Feel free to add more if you
Yeah,
like.
yeah. I mean, the thing I love about Beaver Builder is that it's as far as page builders go, drag and drop page builders, it's definitely the most well-coded. Um, I can honestly say it's by far the best one on the market, and it's unlocked a huge, like a whole new level of creativity in me and my ability to create pages, landing pages,
So
websites, everything.
did you use that same tool for creating that front end, that sales page, and the journey
Yes.
website that we were looking at before we came in here?
Yeah, so we actually before Beaver Builder came along, or before we actually heard about it, we were using a lot of Thrive Themes products, um, and they have like a set of themes, and they also have their own page builder, and it's very like marketing oriented, and they're great tools, and so we used that when we first built the Grady Course Adventure, and that the blog site that you saw is actually based on the Thrive still, and I haven't changed that over because we're going to be redesigning that whole site anyways. But in the membership site here, like the sales page you saw, that was all built with Beaver Builder, and pretty much everything that's in the course is also built with Beaver Builder.
Okay.
We also have another course that people should check out that we use. It was the first course we made with Beaver Builder, and it's called coursesworthsharing.com, and it's an interactive website journey that basically summarizes in 20 minutes. You can go through this mini course, and it's our philosophies and values, and it's a really fun interactive experience for you.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
and just so you guys know, if you go through this experience, you'll see there's like a progress bar and stuff, and you work your way through. It's not actually like technically, it's not actually like a LMS style course. There's no, tracking or need to log in. And this progress bar is actually just a Beaver Builder element. It's not an actual progress bar. It's just one of those like counter bars that I just set it to a percentage, and so it kind of gives it the illusion that it's actually a progress bar. But we could just skip to any one of these pages, and it'll just pop forward to the right spot.
Very crafty. I
But
like that.
there's all of this is built with Beaver Builder, and it is an incredible tool. I really, really love it a lot. As you can see, you can get quite creative with it. So,
yeah,
let's get
definitely.
back to.
Yeah, so and then the theme, you said social learner, you have Beaver Builder there, obviously LearnDash powering the courses. So people come here to this homepage, they see this group coaching you guys offer. On the right-hand side, it looks like you have your members, profiles and activities, I guess, showing up. And that's, how has that been, in creating that sense of community around the course?
The forums have been critical, and you'll see why in a second when we get over to the forums. I mean, the community aspect is really what keeps this thing going, and I think it's the biggest like attributor to the direction that we've gone with all of this. And I mean, our approach is very human centric, right? And it's really about working with real people and designing experiences for real people. And I think that like without community, it's easy to fall into the trap of creating courses for robots. And that's a lot of what we see, just like, oh, you just put a series of videos together that has the information and then expect that that's going to actually be useful for somebody. And it might be, but when we're actually working with real people and there's that connection, I think it changes perspective a little bit. It definitely has for us. And you guys will see in a second how active our forum is, especially just considering that the amount of students we have compared to the amount of activity in the forum is quite significant. So just down here at the bottom, we've got this monthly challenge. So we do a monthly challenge every month, and I'll show you guys the challenges in a second, how we have that all set up. And then this Mountain Legends is like every couple weeks or so, we'll feature one of our students that did something significant. Maybe they launched something, or they were really helpful in the forums, or something like that. And then this is just a couple. Well, it's actually just one link right now. I think that's we need to fix that. And then down here at the bottom, it just shows like some updates of recent activity of just what's happening inside of membership. And this is the activity feed is run from BuddyPress, which is integrated with Social Learner. So just to kind of further explain Social Learner, what Social Learner does is it integrates BuddyPress, which is like a community platform, BBPress, which is forums. It integrates LearnDash, it integrates a badge system, it integrates all these different tools that usually you'd have to custom code to get them really working nicely together. And with Social Learner, you're just off to the races because it all works right out of the box.
Yeah, and what's really great about this too,
nifty.
The latest activity that you have is a great way to just share with people, or let people know they're not alone in taking this course and this journey. You talked a lot about experiences, and you create a great visual experience, but then ultimately when you're creating a course, and this is something we like to recommend to people using LearnDash, is think about ways, if you can, if it makes sense for the topic, to help give people encouragement, be it through gamification, through forums, like you said, momentum and community, because taking an online course can be very lonely, and people just kind of peter out after a while. They don't want to, it gets boring, and their attention goes somewhere. But that is not the case here when we're looking at just what you've created. And along the side, I'm interested to know more about these things like campfires and tribes and the menu there.
Yeah.
What are those?
Yeah. So here on the left side, let's just start at the top. So start here. We don't need to actually go there quite yet because that'll be a part of what we check out. So let's start at the campfires. So in our sort of quest of creating these kind of immersive learning worlds and experiences, we, instead of calling it a forum, we call it a campfire, because what do you do around the campfire? You have conversations. So that's our campfires is like the code name for discussion forum. And here's all of our different discussion forums. There's quite a few of them. And as you can see, there's I think there's probably like about 10,000 posts. It looks like there's a little over 9,000 posts since we launched this, what was that, year and a half ago?
Yeah, about that.
Wow, super impressive.
Our users, we've got 750 users on here, but those are actually not active users. When we first launched, we did like a promo where we just let a bunch of people in the community, and then there was an upsell at the end of that. So I think that actual like active users that are active members is probably around, I think it's like a little like 230 or so right now.
Yeah, it's somewhere around that.
So the majority of these 10,000 posts is from 250 people or so. So it's a
very tight-knit group, it sounds like, and committed and invested in what you're doing.
Well, we're in alignment with Kevin Kelly, the founder of Wired Magazine, has an amazing article or essay called 1,000 True Fans. And so rather than for us, with our philosophy around growing our community, is we're putting, rather than focusing all of our creative energy and resources on the advertising side of our business, we're putting all of our energy and focus on inside of our community, on our students, and allowing for this energy to grow so that the word just kind of naturally spreads through our students, through the work that we're doing, through the things that we create, and so it's been an interesting shift in perspective for us, because we used to follow the whole online marketing thing and do all the tricks to get more conversions and more people and all that sort of stuff. But what we're finding is the more energy we focus inwards on the people that are here with us, the more success we have, and the more we learn and have fun.
Yeah, that's a great strategy. It's kind of like a go slow and do it right approach, which you think would be common sense, but a lot of times people are so excited to get their project out the door, be it their courses or their another online business or any business, that you know you gotta take it. You know, when you take it slow like you've done, you can see it. You're reaping the rewards from that, refining your process, and then be able to take it out to a larger audience. So that's I'm totally in line and agree with that approach to business, and particularly an online course business, which I believe you guys are calling checkpoints. If the checkpoints
Yep.
is courses, correct?
Yep. Yeah, we can go look at that right now. So we can go up here or over here.
And so
So this
checkpoints,
is basically,
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Checkpoints are courses, and I'll just say that in LearnDash, you can, our terminology is courses, lessons, topics, and quizzes, but we have settings so you can change it to anything. So you can change it to checkpoints, or you can change it to whatever you'd like.
and the way that we have this set up, it's a little bit unconventional. The way we chose to go with it is that this is actually just one course, but to us it's one course. It's just the Grady Course Adventure is the course, right? But the way that it's set up in LearnDash is that it's actually each of these are all modules, right? But we have them actually set as courses in LearnDash, and I'll show you why we did that. So here, let's just go to Basecamp real quick. So here's Basecamp, and then this is the way that the LearnDash courses look inside of Social Learner, and you see the steps that are a part of Basecamp. And so the reason that we did this is that we wanted to have each checkpoint be its own little world, rather than having all of the modules and all the steps of the entire journey in just this one screen. We wanted to have it be broken up. And so yeah, what we did is, and then what we also did is set it up so that there's like access rules. There's prerequisites, so we could say that in order to get to Basecamp, they have to finish this course. So yeah,
Okay,
that's
so
pretty much how we did
you're
it.
forcing a linear progression then through this journey that you created.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because you have your
there is
characters and they need to come in at certain points. So I'm getting a kick out of some of the characters in these images. It's funny.
Oh yeah, no, it's we had some fun. Let's just put it that way. So here's
Yeah.
maybe I'll show you guys. So these are these hillbillies that we found that teach us how to make good media. So
The Medius brothers.
so I just want to give you guys an idea. It's like the videos is really where the story unfolds. Like the video lessons, and then the community is kind of where we talk about and process stuff. But the videos are really what took it to where it goes. Can you hear sound, or is it just video?
I think it's just video, but
Okay.
it's,
Well, here
it's
I'll skip to a part that just kind of illustrates a little bit better.
okay. And what are you using for your video player?
This is a Wistia.
Okay, great.
So as you can see, like everything was done with green screen, and it's all really basic techniques that we used, but just a little bit can go a long way. And when we started doing this, when we had this idea to create videos like this, we had no idea what we were doing. We just
No
kind
clue.
of figured it out.
And I mean, on
you'll
that
see
note,
here-
Andy'd never been on camera before. The first video shoot we did, I mean, he was like a deer in the headlights, and slowly but surely, worked through the resistance. We kept creating videos, and the progression from our first videos where we were filming Basecamp to where our students get to launch Summit and they finally launch their course in the second to last checkpoint. I mean, the quality of video production, the effects we learned to do, the imagination of the actual storyline and how things unfold, like it becomes this epic adventure, and it kept getting better. We kept getting better at scripting and storyboarding and executing the vision, and things just kept getting better. And so, for people that are starting out and you have no idea how to do green screen, but you'd like to incorporate that, it's not as difficult as you might imagine. You can use simple editing tools, because I'm not a techie, but I'm learning to do all this stuff as well by working with Blair, who did all our video production, and then Andy, who's doing all our tech stuff. And you can have a lot of fun and do some amazing things with pretty simple editing skills. And YouTube's been an amazing teacher for us. You just click what you want to do, and you can learn some effects. So that's our future selves there that are teaching us about the future of online sales funnels.
That's really cool. I think you guys nailed it with the videos, and I will say that I just happen to notice that these videos are nicely timed out. They're not 20-minute long videos, which is something we harp on a lot, is that people want to eat, people want to absorb things in bite-sized chunks. So it's it's everything you have here is so polished, and I think it's a great inspiration to those that are creating courses and wanting to create an experience with their course. At the same time, it could maybe appear, if someone's just starting out, a person or an organization, they feel like, oh wow, that I'll never be able to get to that quality. So I want to pose a question to you guys. For somebody that was just starting out, say they just got LearnDash and they're ready to start creating their online learning program, what are some of the first bits of advice that you would give? Now I know you have a whole course on creating courses, but what would you tell that person?
I would say number one. Or you go ahead, Brad.
No, you go. I always go first.
I was going to say, I think number one, and this is something that we find is a really hard thing to kind of overcome, and this is sort of a symptom of just the way that the industry is and the way that that we perceive what it means to create courses and whatnot. But there's a lot of unrealistic expectations about being able to make 6 figures by Tuesday afternoon, or that everything's just so easy, and literally you can make a course and sell it in your sleep, and all these things, and it just sets up these unrealistic expectations, and it eventually just leads to burnout for the people that don't already have a lot of momentum or have a business and have the ability to hire somebody to do it. And so that's one of the things with our students is just getting into that creative flow, and just kind of what we found is letting go of the need for urgency. And everybody wants it now and fast and good, and they want all the things, but just like any art or any skill, it just takes time. And the sooner that we let go of the get rich quick mentality, the sooner we'll be well on our way to actually creating things of extremely high value. So that's one of the things that I've really noticed, is that, again, it's just a big hang-up for people. And with our students in particular, when people get past that hump and they just immerse themselves in the process of learning how to create transformative experiences with the internet, the game changes entirely, and their work starts to really, really, really go places.
Yeah. And I think this is not what we did, but what we're encouraging people to do is start micro. So even before creating a course, is start with one lesson. Come up with a lesson that you want to teach people, and then once you come up with the lesson outline, let's just say your creative container is you have to teach something specific in 2 to 5 minutes. You have no more than 5 minutes. And once you come up with the lesson, come up with a creative way to share that, to teach whatever it is. And it could be through story, it could be through a visual presentation with your voiceover. There's so many different ways that we can tell a story and teach a skill. And I think like that's the biggest thing, is to start micro instead of doing a giant grade e-course adventure like we did that has 92 lessons. Like we literally we threw ourselves over the deep end. We had the idea, we created the first bunch of lessons, like maybe 10 lessons. We created the trailer, which is the exact same trailer that's on our homepage here, and we pre-sold it. We made about $30,000 in pre-sales because people were like, this looks cool. I'll pre-buy that for a discounted price. And we literally, like, that gave us a 2-month runway to start building it, and we had no idea how we were going to like turn this idea of this world, because in the first 24 hours of brainstorming was when we had the whole vision come to us. And we literally had to launch a new checkpoint every 2 weeks for our students that signed up starting last January. And it took us 9 months to produce this thing, to produce all the videos. Andy had to come to Canada 4 times over the course of 6 months to shoot all the videos, and him and I would be building the community and doing launches and all sorts of stuff. And we don't recommend starting that way because it's a really big undertaking. And most people, if we hadn't made those pre-sales that made us responsible for building this and completing it, I don't think we ever would have finished it. And so our advice to people, if you're just getting started and like this is your first course, is start with a micro course, a 3-part video series or something like that. Just start by creating something that's really cool, something that you're the best gauge. Look at what you're creating and ask yourself, would I want to go through this, or would I be excited about this? And if the answer is no, then start to ask, well, what would excite me? What kind of learning experience would keep me hooked so that I'm not going over to Facebook and scrolling the wall again while the lesson's going on in the background, because that's what's happening. And we need to find new ways to keep people captivated so that they can actually learn the skills. And so starting small, even just like building one lesson is going to teach you everything from creating your lesson, coming up with the creative theme to turn it into a world or an experience, giving people a call to action to do an exercise, building a landing page and lesson page, building handouts, automating. All this sort of stuff happens just from creating one really good lesson. And if you can do one really good lesson, then you'll have the template to create a whole bunch of good lessons or a series of lessons into a course.
Well, that is such great advice. I think you guys clearly know what you're doing. You can see that you take your own advice, and just looking at this course, it's been incredible.
Yeah. Before we move, I think there's just a couple of like small little features I'd like to point out that might spur some inspiration in people. So if you see over here on the right side, it's my backpack, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This B, this is what stands for Bajillion. This is an actual community currency, a digital currency that we have as part of this course. And then down here are badges, right?
Yeah.
So we actually gamified this whole situation, and you earn badges. If I can take you to these challenges, we have these monthly challenges, and people can come to these challenges, pick a challenge, and then do the challenge, and then they can earn the badge. And then we also award the Bajillion for things like when they complete a lesson, it's set to give them a certain amount. When they complete a checkpoint, it gives them a certain amount, things like that. And then the cool thing is that we actually have created a mountain shop that we've put with actual products that people can come and spend their earned Bajillion on actual products that we will then give to them.
That's really slick. I like that. Yeah, the gamification, the badges, and the digital currencies there. That's a great little engagement tool, I guess I would say. But the fact that they're actual products, that's even cooler.
Yeah, I mean, you can also see down here is top Bajillionaires. It actually shows who has the most Bajillions. And it's been fun though to see how people respond. Like we knew that doing the gamification system would be helpful, but we didn't realize how helpful it would be. And it's like one of the most favorite aspects of the whole course consistently for people.
We started doing monthly challenges about 5 months ago, and we have an article on our blog that people could go check out. And it's how we 4x'd our community engagement with all of our students. and it's through doing these monthly challenges. It's absolutely been astonishing just how much more excited and engaged people are to get work done every month and to just focus on a specific task that's a part of the challenge. And we have a monthly champion who gets crowned, and they win these special backpack supplies and Bajillion and stuff like that for participating and completing the challenges.
Yeah, that's really neat. And the digital currency, that fake currency, how are you going about, implementing that? Is there something that you use for that?
So for the currency, we use MyCred, which is a WordPress plugin, and for the badges, we use BadgeOS, and with the currency, both the currency and BadgeOS have integrations with LearnDash. The BadgeOS actually has a built-in one, and then the MyCred one, there was like a little snippet of code that we had to add to it that we found on the internet that gave it that integration. So it's not like not quite plug and play, but it's not much to make it happen.
Yeah,
and then both those plugins, both those plugins, both MyCred and BadgeOS, they work together really, really well. And we can actually, like for the challenges, it'll award them a badge and give them a certain amount of the currency as well.
No, that's really, really neat.
That's pretty much it.
No, that's good. I'm glad that you continued sharing some of those other little features of the whole program, because it lends itself to creating this huge sense of community and immersive experience that you were talking about in the very beginning. So thank you for that. But with that said, if people did want to reach out to you, where could they find out more about you two and then your projects?
Yeah, so thegreatecourseadventure.com is the best place for now. In the soon future, like probably within a few weeks, ecourseadventures.com will be available and open, and probably by the time this is published, I'm sure it'll be ready. So that's a good place. You can check out coursesworthsharing.com. That's that mini course that kind of walks you through our philosophies and approach behind all of this. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thegreatecourseadventure.com, that's the best place.
Very good. Well, hey, Andy and Bradley, thank you so much again for giving us a glimpse behind the scenes of your program. It's super impressive, one of the best I've seen, and I'm sure we'll hear more about you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Justin.
All right,
yeah,
take care.
Thanks, everybody.